I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, AG Bondi, and Director Patel for the opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve. God bless America and all those who defend her American flag. That is Dan Bongino, who quit his job at the FBI after 10 months. This man went from podcaster to FBI deputy director, and 10 months without a podcast mic was just too long for him. Dan Bongino could not handle having a real job. He also could not handle the commentary he's getting on the internet. He actually, in fact, blocked me because of something I posted. I'll show you that in just a moment. Dan Bongino, I just want to keep in mind, I don't know what you do for a living. I am very grateful to have this job. It is a blessing to do this for a living. I take it very seriously, but I have had very hard jobs before I had this one. I worked at Walmart. I've been a receptionist at a hair salon. I worked nights at a restaurant as a host for a New York City, in New York City called Cafeteria, where I worked from 12 to 7 at night for $13 an hour. I've had hard jobs. Okay. Dan Bongino, I don't think ever has had a real job because here he is complaining about the fact that he has to go to work.
I gave up everything for this. I mean, you know, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns.
Oh my God. Cash Patel is there all day. The horror. All day at work.
He's there he gets in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., you know, by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced.
Slip up aside. I mean, imagine going on Fox and Friends and saying that your job is hard because you're not at home. You're surrounded by terrible furniture.
And it's hard. I mean, you know, we love each other and it's hard to be apart.
But you're doing some great work. You're straightened out at the FBI, you're moving buildings. There's a lot of change.
Did you do good work? Because everyone was super excited. MAGA was like, finally, we got one of our own in here. We're going to be able to finally get those Epstein files out. And well, that never happened. The Epstein files never came out. And actually only 1% of them came out. And we are 22 days past when the Epstein files were supposed to be released. And I guess that's just not happening. We're just breaking the law now. And Dan Bongino is back on the podcast mic. And unfortunately for him, his viewers are not so happy. And here is what they've been saying. One person said, I would have had more respect for you if you would have just disappeared with your tail between your legs, but you got the nerve to come on here. Still, it's sickening. Only the dumbest of the dumb are still going to follow you. The sheep, someone else said, Dan is a clown. And another said, Dan, nothing to see here, Bongina. You're a disgrace. You should be ashamed, you puppet. Another viewer wrote, just came for the comments, LOL. I mean, I'm always here for the comments. Always here for the comments. One other person said, I wish Dan hadn't taken the FBI job, totally destroyed him, and fucked his credibility. I believed he would make a difference. The BS that was coming from him in that job was disgusting, and mass betrayal to his MAGA base. I'm horrified and disgusted. Oh, man. Well, in response to all of that, Dan Bongino said this.
Then just don't watch. The show's, it's okay. Like, this is a constitutional republic. You're not obligated to listen to my show. Justin, what was the line on the air with Jim? It's not a freaking airport, man. You don't have to announce your departure. Like, you get these black pillars. The thing about black pillars, where everything sucks all the time, is like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. You're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything about. Like, that's all you do. Like, he'll shut down the border, 10 people across the month. Why wasn't it 0? Okay, well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal? That way, and there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterms. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. That doesn't mean healthy debates about policy are not welcome. Hey, I'm not a big tariff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. Debating policies are fine. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the tariffs was dramatically over-exaggerated. Even people who don't like them having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth. But the black pill complaining and whining all the time about the administration, it's just like, man, what team are you on?
I don't know, but whatever side they're on, if they're on the side of making fun of you, can't be so bad. No, they're actually pretty awful people. But it's good that they're making fun of Dan Bongino. Now, I have to say that I actually tweeted at him. I said, at Dan Bongino, is this real? Could be real. I don't see a watermark. Now, in response to that, I got blocked by Dan Bongino. That's how he's taking the criticism. He is just literally blocking everyone. If you just look up Dan Bongino blocked on X, you will see that he's just wearing that button out. The block button is getting a lot of use on his end. Someone said the Dan Bongino crash out is hard to watch. Is he okay? He's not okay. why I know that is because he did this. This was the deputy director of the FBI.
This is Karate Man. Double leg, the jump kick, the side kick, the roundhouse, the tie kick, body.
I don't know in what context would make sense for someone to do that. Can you imagine if I did that?
This is Karate Man. Double leg, the double.
That's kind of fun. I can see why he was doing it now. Maybe that's why he was doing it. Oh man, the internet is undefeated. The internet is oh God. Oh no. Brokeback Mountain with Dan Bongino.
We watched you lie through your teeth. Look, he said, I've seen the files. He killed himself. I just want you to think about this, okay? Dan Bongino, after talking about this all the time, and you saw him right there in the clip saying, don't let up. Don't let up on the Epstein thing. We got to keep talking about this. None of this makes sense. What you didn't see there is he even went as far as one time on the Tim Pool show. He said, I have it on good authority that Jeffrey Epstein worked for Middle Eastern intelligence. Could be any of those Middle Eastern countries, of course. But so he said all that. Then he goes in there. He says, I've seen the files. He killed himself. That was approximately 2 months before the official position of the administration was that the files don't exist. So he said he's seen the files and he's killed himself. And by the way, as you know, because we followed this whole crazy train, right? You know, the end result of it is that the bill passed. The files are to be released. Great. So now we all get to see it, right? I mean, I understand they just missed a deadline, but of course, this administration is that they ran on being the most transparent administration in history, right? So we're going to get all that information. So this will be great. So let's see what Dan Bongino saw. I mean, Dan Bongino, by the way, you're coming back to podcasting now. The files have been declassified. I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure you can tell us now. It's not classified information anymore. You can tell us exactly what you saw, exactly how you were able to look the American people in the eye and guarantee and promise that he killed himself. And you know that for a fact. I mean, you must have seen some really strong evidence in order to know that for a fact. What we've seen so far is a fake AI image of Epstein attempting to kill himself in some way in a cell, but it was clearly determined that that wasn't a real video. So what is it that you saw, Dan? I mean, look, dude, if you want to come back into this world, in this world here, as you knew before you went into government, in this world, the currency is honesty. The currency is the truth. So tell us, man. You went into government, looked us all in the eye, and made up a big fat fucking lie that you don't know. And you know it. You know you did that. So now you think you're going to be the one to come back into this, you know, the podcasting game, and you're going to be policing this space, the black pillars?
Hey, Smith, you libertarian black pillar clown. Your family must be thrilled their last name's Smith. I can smell the copium from here. Now go get your shine box like I told you. Lesson over.
I'll just leave it with this. Dan Bongino accomplished nothing. Nothing, but it was entertaining. Well, to you, Dan Bongino, I say, unblocking coward.